Welcome to this short video which shows the facilities for saving and using common phrases in S1000D data modules. This was introduced at version 9.4 of Eclipse S1000D for FrameMaker. So often when you're creating data modules, you will use a standard phrase which is particular to your particular project or something like that. And this facility enables you to copy those and store them in the data reference manager so that you can use them later on. This can save hours of typing and also makes sure that things are very accurate. But the data that we're talking about here can either be a string of text, or it can be some markup, for example, a paragraph which has got a list in it, or a pair of paragraphs. It's up to you to find out actually just how complicated that markup can be. Now, one of the things that we have to be sure of is that you can actually enable it very easily. Even if you're already using the data reference manager as part of your project, you can enable this facility without affecting the remainder of the data reference manager for your project. And it's very straightforward, and we'll see how that's done. To enable the data reference manager for this project to be able to work with the copying the various phrases and that sort of thing. And it's very straightforward. You go to the usual Eclipse S1000D menu item and then go to Mecon database configuration. This gives you this very front screen here, the configuration screen, and we want to modify that. And you can see here that the common phrases box is not ticked. So if we now tick that and update it, and that's it. It's as easy as that. Even if you've been using the project already, it will add that table automatically to the database. Now the data reference manager has been enabled to handle this sort of information. Copying text into the database is very, very simple. In simple terms, you need to highlight the text to be copied, then copy it using an extra menu item, and then paste it into the data reference manager. We're going to have a look at that now. What we're going to do now is to copy that line of text, which is you see highlighted on the screen there now. Now if I right click on that, you'll see that in fact there's a pop-up menu. What I'm going to do is to move this so that we can actually see more of it. So we're going to move that up so that we can see more of it, and right click. I'll have to highlight it again, I'm afraid. Right click on it and you can now see the option there, S1000D common phrase copy to clipboard. Clicking on that gets us exactly ready for working on the database. I'm going to have to move this slightly sideways again so that you can see what's going on. Database, what we're going to do now is the Mecon database management, because what we want to do is to add something in. So what we have here now is the database, S1000D bike, because that's this particular bit that we're working on here. Common phrases, enter a common phrase. So what we're going to do is no metal, click in the space there, and now paste in that text. We're going to add that to the database. It's now added it. And adding that information is as simple as that as you're operating. So we close that now, and you can see now that actually it was as simple as that to actually add the information into the database. Not only can we copy a straightforward string of text, we can also copy a marked up section of text, like a paragraph with lists or other things like that. So what we're going to do now is to have a quick look at that. So in simple terms, we need once again to highlight the data to be copied, then copy using the extra menu item, and then paste that information into the data reference manager. What we're going to do now is to copy some marked up text, something that's in the data module that's already got something in it, and it's got some structure to it and can be a much larger lump of information. So what I'm going to do is to highlight this file here, this area here, and you can You can see it's actually got cross references in, and that could cause problems if you then paste that in to another file. But what you can do here now then is one of two things. You can either right click in the right hand side here in the structure view, or you can right click here now in there, and what you can see is that we've got a menu option. Let me scroll up a bit so that you can actually see that better. Right, so we'll highlight that again. And now if I right click, you'll see we've got the same information there. So if I now click on that, it's now copied that into the clipboard, and we now go to the database, and what I'm going to do is just do what we did before. Select the database once again, it's 1000D bike, and manage it, which we're going to do the common phrases, and enter a common phrase. A second paragraph, and what we can do now is to paste that into that window there. Now you can see there's quite a lot of difference here. There's all the markup in there, and what this does then is obviously to enable you to just paste that in, and it comes in exactly as it was there. So we add that to the database, and adding information into the database is as simple as that. It's very easy to do that. So we're going to shut these down now to land up with a clean window. This next part of the presentation shows how you use that text that you placed into the Data Reference Manager. When we're talking about the marked up text, it is structure aware. So if you try and put it in the wrong place, then it will object, and you will not obviously get what you were expecting. The first thing I'm going to do is to insert a paragraph which has got some structure to it, some list items which following it. And I'm doing that because this is an empty data module. I've changed the modulic at the top to give me S1000D bike, which means I can now use an existing system set up for this. So what I'll do now then is to at that point there in the structure view, insert the cursor, then come back to the main view and right click. And let's scroll up a bit more so we can see better what's going on. Right click in there, insert a common phrase. Now what we've got here is my paragraph, and that's got a markup in it associated with it, so I'm going to insert that now. And as you can see, it's just inserted it straight off without any difficulty at all. Let's now have a look at inserting it with insert just a bit of text in there. So what I'm going to do is to insert the cursor point pathway through that paragraph. For the purpose of the demonstration, I'm not too bothered about actually what it looks like. And I'm going to tick this sentence which I've got metal plate, and it just inserts it in there, as you can see. So using the facility, it enables you to very rapidly do work on it. So it's as easy as that. So that's the end of this short video, which has been demonstrating the copying of text and structured text into the Data Reference Manager for use at a later stage. And we've seen how you can do that for both structured text and a bit of ordinary common text. And we've shown you inserting both a structured text and a simple string of data into a paragraph. Thank you for watching this video. There are other videos available to demonstrate other features of the S1000D application.